Most people enter a room and are invisible. They shuffle, apologize for their presence, and wait for permission to exist. The audacious? They walk in like they own the sun or eclipse it. Presence is power. Confidence radiates authority. Silence can cut louder than words. Your entrance sets the tone, defines perception, and establishes dominance before a single word is spoken. History and modern culture are full of examples. Kanye West doesn't enter a room, he arrives like the beat has already dropped. The room bends to his presence, not because of polite introductions, but because he commands attention, radiates confidence, and manipulates perception. Radiance and strategic darkness are tools of influence. You either shine like the sun or eclipse it with calculated control. Either way, the spectrum bends to your command. This video is about mastering presence, controlling perception, and using both light and shadow as weapons. It's about understanding that influence is as much about how you enter a space as what you do within it. The world notices audacity. It rewards command. It remembers those who move with radiance and strategy. Walk in like you own the sun or eclipse it. Presence is power. Most people drift through rooms unnoticed, waiting for recognition, validation, or permission. That is weakness. Radiance, confidence, audacity, and unapologetic self-assurance commands attention before a single word is spoken. It forces acknowledgement, establishes dominance, and bends perception to your advantage. Your energy speaks louder than your words. Think about Kanye West. He doesn't enter a room like everyone else. He arrives as if the beat has already dropped. The space adjusts to him. Attention follows him. Power gravitates toward him. Because he radiates authority, confidence, and inevitability. People respond to energy first, words second. Radiance is a weapon. It signals dominance, competence, and control. It forces others to recalibrate their behavior immediately. How often do you enter spaces timidly, apologetically, or as if your presence is optional? Every time you diminish yourself, you surrender influence. Every hesitant step reinforces invisibility. To dominate, you must walk in radiantly, as if the room is already yours. Confidence is contagious. Authority is magnetic. People respond to it instinctively. Your presence sets the tone, defines your perceived power, and shifts the dynamics before a single interaction occurs. Radiance is not arrogance, it is deliberate energy. Stand tall. Move decisively. Make eye contact. Breathe like you belong. Own the room before you even speak. Every hesitation, doubt, or timid gesture weakens influence. Every deliberate, confident movement multiplies it. Radiance isn't always the answer. Sometimes, strategic darkness, silence, absence, and mystery wields more power than light ever could. An eclipse isn't weak, it's controlled. It manipulates perception, creates tension, and forces others to lean in, question, and anticipate. Darkness, when deployed deliberately, becomes a weapon of influence. Look at history and culture. Leaders, performers, and innovators know when to shine and when to vanish. Kanye West doesn't just flood every space with energy. He knows when to let silence speak, when to let anticipation grow, and when to eclipse the room with presence that is felt rather than shouted. Absence creates desire. Mystery demands attention. Strategic darkness forces others to fill the void with your significance. How often do you overshare, overexplain, or overperform, thinking more light equals more power? That approach is predictable. That approach is easy to manipulate. True control comes when you know when to step back, when to let silence amplify your influence, and when to eclipse others with anticipation. You control the spectrum. You decide when to shine, when to obscure, and when to dominate perception without a single word. Strategic darkness is deliberate. It's not hiding, it's commanding on your terms. Withdraw attention selectively, hold back information, and let absence heighten intrigue. People respect those who control what they reveal and when. Silence, when timed properly, communicates confidence, dominance, and inevitability. Darkness amplifies your light by contrast. This week, choose one environment, work, social, or professional, and deliberately enter or engage with strategic silence. Allow your presence to be felt, not spoken. Observe reactions. Notice how anticipation and curiosity heighten your perceived power. Remember, light commands attention, but darkness controls it. Walk in like you own the sun, or eclipse it, and force the room to follow your rhythm. Influence isn't about always shining or always hiding, it's about control. The most powerful people dictate the spectrum. They decide when to illuminate, when to eclipse, and when to manipulate perception entirely. Radiance and darkness are tools. Mastery is knowing when and how to wield each to bend the room, the narrative, and attention to your will. Kanye West doesn't stumble through rooms blindly. He controls the spectrum. He knows when to dominate with energy, when to vanish into silence, and when to leave a lingering presence that lingers in memory long after he's gone. That's why rooms, crowds, and even media react on his terms. Influence is less about what you say and more about how you manage light and shadow around you. How often do you rely on constant action or constant visibility to be noticed? That is weakness. True dominance comes from deciding the rules of engagement. When to shine, when to obscure, and when to let perception chase you. You create intrigue. You dictate attention. You bend environments to your will. Obedience to circumstance is surrender. Control of the spectrum is mastery. Mastery of light and shadow isn't spontaneous, it's deliberate. Before entering any environment, decide. Will you dominate with radiance, with strategic darkness, or with a controlled combination of both? Test the reactions. Adjust. Command the room without needing permission or validation. Influence follows those who decide the terms of engagement. Remember, light and shadow are your tools. The spectrum bends to those who wield them with intent. Walk in like you own the sun, or eclipse it, and force the world to move to your rhythm. Here's the brutal truth. Walking into a room is not enough. Your presence must dominate, resonate, and manipulate the energy of the space. Radiance and strategic darkness are tools, but presence is the amplifier. It takes perception, confidence, and control and broadcasts them so everyone notices, even before you speak. If you fail to project presence deliberately, your light fades, your shadow dissipates, and the room forgets you exist. Think about Kanye West. Every entrance, every pause, every glance is calculated. He doesn't just arrive. He owns attention, directs energy, and forces others to respond to his rhythm. That is presence. Power is in how the room adjusts to you, not how loudly you talk. True influence is often invisible but unmistakable. People feel it before they see it. They react before they understand why. Now, let's make this painfully close to you. How often do you enter a space and blend into the background? How often do you leave rooms unnoticed or fail to imprint your authority? That is weakness. To dominate, you must project presence like a weapon, commanding attention, shaping reactions, and bending perception without uttering a single word. Presence amplifies both your light and your shadow. It makes radiance and darkness more than tactics. It makes them irresistible forces. Here's the tactical reality. Presence is deliberate. Stand tall, move with intent, and project energy that communicates inevitability. Use silence, movement, and confidence to shape the room. Every hesitation diminishes impact. Every deliberate action multiplies it. Presence is power amplified. It turns audacity into influence and mastery into recognition. This week, enter one room intentionally and consciously project your presence. Observe how people respond. Measure the shift in attention, reactions, and energy. Remember, walking in like you own the sun, or eclipsing it, is nothing without presence to amplify the effect. Command the spectrum. On the room, let the world bend to your rhythm. Most people drift through life unseen, unheard, and forgotten. They enter rooms timidly, fade into the background, and surrender influence to anyone bold enough to claim it. Walking in like you own the sun, or eclipsing it, is not about arrogance. It's about mastery, control, and strategic presence. Radiance, darkness, and deliberate projection of presence are your tools. Used correctly, they bend perception, command attention, and amplify influence. History and modern culture show it clearly. Kanye West doesn't just enter rooms. He arrives with authority, manipulates energy, and leaves a lingering mark. The room reacts to him because he controls the spectrum. He knows when to shine, when to eclipse, and when to dominate through presence alone. Influence is earned through perception, and perception bends to those who master light, shadow, and presence. Your presence is a weapon. Radiance and darkness are tools. The spectrum bends to those who wield them with intent. Enter rooms intentionally. Project confidence. Shape perception. Force attention. Dominate energy. Walk in like you own the sun, or eclipse it, and make the room respond to your rhythm. Influence isn't given. It's seized.